So let's put a little more color in this picture. So what is something you enjoy doing that maybe you haven't done for a while? Whether you're good at it, not good at it, whatever it is, what is it? It's important to have something that's yours. Doesn't matter if you're a trained specialist. It doesn't matter if you're ever going to be known for it, not known for it. And most importantly, it doesn't matter what people think of it. Probably the whole comparison is what really destroys a lot of people. The element of what will they think, the element of I'm not really sure if I can, I don't want to start that. What if I fail? I'm not fast enough. I wasn't an athlete in high school or college. Who do I think I am? That's such a great question. Who do you think you are? Who cares? Who cares what other people think about you? The most important thing is what do you think about you? Nothing great in this world is ever created from somebody who didn't think they could. I love to theorize about Walt Disney. Think about Walt Disney. How long ago did he come up with the idea of a magical kingdom? Just imagine that he went up to somebody and said, I'm going to build the happiest place on earth. It's going to be called the Magic Kingdom. And by the way, a mouse is going to be the mascot. I mean, I would have been like, did you take your medicine today or what? What's going on, my friend? You'd really start to worry about him, right? But here's the thing. He didn't care. He didn't care because he knew. He knew who he was. Now, there's my next secret. How do you figure out who you are? How do you figure out who you are and how do you trust yourself? Well, thankfully, that's what I teach people to do. I teach people to do that because I'm an expert on it. Why am I an expert on it? Because I figured out how to do it for myself. How did I figure out how to do it for myself? I was born 4 of 5 children on a dairy farm in the Midwest. My parents are German, and they are, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. And if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. And you're going to do it no matter what, if you want to do it or not, because it has to get done. Because when there's farm work to do, it just has to get done. And so I was born that one thing that didn't really fit in with the others. I was blonde. All my siblings were brunette. I had natural curly blonde hair. They all pretty much had straight brown hair. And they were fearless, man. Every single one of them was fearless. And me, I was scared of everything. I was scared of lightning. I was scared of dark. I was scared of dogs. I was scared of, I think, the air. Oh, as much as I wanted to talk, I just couldn't. I just couldn't make myself raise my hand. I would blush severely if somebody said my name. And I was just innately that way. I was just born that way. And through grade school and middle school, I came out of my shell when I was very comfortable with certain people. And one day in high school, I remember thinking, it's really hard being this quiet. I'm going to figure out how to be unshy per se, right? And I did. So this is I graduated in 1990. I know, I don't look old enough to be this old, right? If you disagree, do not say anything. I do not want to hear you say anything. Anyway, what did I do? I started to observe people. But here's the thing with quiet kids. They're already observing. They're already watching everything because they're not talking. They're not the ones looking for the attention or they want to answer the question, but they just don't. They just don't really know how to get their hand up, just to raise their hand in class is asking a lot of them. And so when I was probably, junior high, end of junior high probably, I started observing people more with the intent of what do they do? How do they hold their bodies? How do they interact with other people? What are their facial expressions? What are their body expressions? How are they holding their hands? How are they standing? Very specific and detailed. And then I would put it into practice, meaning if I was having a conversation, I would try a new phrase. I would try a new facial expression. I would try something new. Of course, it was unnerving. Everything new is unnerving. But what I didn't realize is that I was self-evolving. I was putting myself through a self-evolution program. I was basically biohacking my own biology, my nature. I was nurturing myself using my nature and figuring out how to become unshy. Now, not every experiment went well, okay? There were a lot of times people would be like, yeah, why are you so mad? And then I would have to go home and really look at my face and say, oh, I thought I was being cute, and it wasn't. I just looked pissed off or something like that. But this brings me to my next very, very important lesson for everybody, especially, oh, it's getting windy. Getting windy out. See, did that spook you? Okay, let's talk about fear. Okay, well, we'll come back to fear because fear is my favorite expert thing I can teach you about, and that's where I'm going to. So that was actually perfect. Thank you, God. Thanks, Dad, whoever. So, what was I saying? Basically, got to figure out who you are. Oh, I did all these experiments. Oh, facial expressions. Okay, facial expressions. Oh my goodness. So RBF, what that means you do, everybody does. If not, look it up in the Urban Dictionary. If you don't know what the Urban Dictionary is, it was started in Madison, Wisconsin on the campus, and it's all the urban slang things. If you ever hear anything that you don't know what it is, like Cards Against Humanity, just pull up the Urban Dictionary. You're going to learn a whole bunch of stuff that you didn't know, and probably stuff you didn't really want to know. But hey, it's part of the adventure and entertainment of being down here on Earth. Okay, so facial expressions, what I did not quickly realize, but learned pretty much the wrong way. And I love this phrase, I've been saying this for years, is I've learned life lessons one of three ways: the wrong way, the hard way, or through my friends. And thankfully, I've had some great friends, and I've had some really shitty friends through the years. And both have taught me some very important lessons about who I am in life, in tolerance, and letting go. Okay, so facial expressions. For people in medicine, especially, or any profession, but especially medicine, because I did that for how many years? Almost 30, is your job is not to judge people. Your job is not to predetermine if they're drug seeking, if they're anxious. If somebody comes into the emergency room, into your office and says, I have A, B, C symptoms, you better start asking questions, not just throwing out, oh, I know what's wrong with you. Most of the diagnoses with psychology are because they're misdiagnosed, all right? People are put on how many different psych medicines or SSRIs because the diagnosis isn't right. You can throw a whole bunch of medicines at people, whether it's for hypertension, it's for cholesterol, it's for mood changes, whatever it is. But if you don't have the diagnosis right, guess what? You're not making them better. You're probably going to make them worse. And then they're going to come back to you and they're going to complain, which is not a complaint. It is somebody crying for help, saying like, I need you to help me. So many providers don't. They won't open their computer. They won't get up to date. They won't read with their patients. They won't come and say, I don't know. Oh, we're doing it wrong on so many levels. But facial expressions, I just really tell everybody, you need to go in the mirror. You need to know what your face is saying. Because especially in like women's health, where I was for the last 14 years, and being a woman, if somebody is going to give you a look of judgment, especially if you have something really vulnerable or embarrassing to say, um, and you give them a look, they are never going to come back to you. They are not going to tell you the truth, and they are not going to recommend you. And in this day and age where medicine is supposed to be built on trust and providers are supposed to be detectives, and you go to school and you learn all this stuff, but that's just the beginning, is one of the other lessons that we don't really tell or teach a lot of medical providers is your face matters. It's called bedside manners, okay? So if you don't know what your face is, or you're getting bad reviews, or your schedule isn't as full, maybe you better just check in with your mirror and have a conversation with yourself and see what is your own mannerisms saying. Okay? Alrighty. So I come out here and this just helps me at the end of the day. De-stress, shuts my mind off because I have to focus on something very specific versus the 50 things that run through my head on a regular basis every minute. And whether my paintings are ever going to be in somebody else's house or my house or whatever that isn't my intention of doing it. My intention is we all have creativity and imagination in us, and this is how mine is coming out at this part of my life. So, and it's fun. I really love to plant trees. Paint trees. I'd rather paint them. I love the complexity of a tree. I love the complexity of the root system. I love taking a walk or just being out in nature and looking at a tree and its branches and seeing like how is it designed? How does it stand? How does the bark flake or not flake? What is the architecture of it? How do the branches interact with each other? And what do the roots do? So anyway, I'm going to be having a free masterclass in a couple weeks, and it's called the 90-day renovation. And in 90 days, I'm going to work my clients through mind, body, communication. So you can live fearless and stop being compromised. You can live uncompromised, or what I call the uncompromised human expansion. I know how to do this. I've done this my whole life. I know how to work people and couples through whatever they're struggling with. Been there, done that, recovered. Life's hard. Nobody ever promised you easy. And I like to say that if life gets too easy or you think you're in utopia, you're probably not on Earth anymore. And that's not the goal here. The goal here, I think, is to discover why you're here. What is the secret sauce that you're supposed to be doing and bringing? And if you feel an unhappiness with yourself, your marriage, your relationships, your thought processes, you have problems really getting past your past, it doesn't make sense to you, it's holding you up, the voices in your head say things that you really shouldn't be hearing, then I want you to come to my class, and I'm going to work you through basically some biohacks, health biohacks, mind biohacks, and how I help clients erase their self-defeating thoughts and their inner critics. And if you're in a relationship, marriage, new relationship, old relationship, and it's gotten stagnant, or you're just kind of lost and you're not sure what to do, then bring your spouse, because I really do enjoy working with couples. It's probably one of the things that I'm really good at also. So anyway, hang in there. watch my feed. I will be posting a link to sign up for the free masterclass because I want the right people in the room. If you're an elite professional, if you're a professional, if you have done kind of anything above and beyond, and you feel like you're struggling at this point, then I would love to have the opportunity to show you some of the secrets of just figuring out who you are at this point and enjoying the rest of the adventure. Okay, my friends, let's see. Have I made it better or worse? There's a lot going on there. It's kind of like being in my head, kind of being in the brain. There's a lot going on there. It's kind of fun in there at times. Okay, people, I will talk to you later.